Morning, Gooners. It's the morning after the Arsenal Wolves game. I've had time to digest it. What I think, you have to give it time for social media to settle down a little bit, see what they think, get the anger out of the way. Everyone's got an opinion, but no one's got a solution, and and the dust has settled now. Look, what people need to understand is it's a very, very complex world, football. It's more complex now than it's ever been. It has emotions, feelings, attitudes, human mistake, human error. All these things, right, have nothing at all to do with coaching. Nothing at all. Managers, as I like yesterday, is going to get an immense kickback. It'll be the manager's fault. The manager is the one that tells the players what to do, positional tactics and all that. But look, football is a unique thing in itself. It stands on its own. And for that reason, it's really complex, and it's a psychological thing as well. And half of the time, we don't know what goes on. We just have to analyse. Someone turns up on a Saturday or a Sunday, and they're not playing very well, and you wonder why. And then the following week, they do play well, and you think they're stunning. So what happens? What happens in between? Well, why football is so different to anything that we do, is that in the outside world, someone is paid a wage, and for that wage, they are expected to do whatever they're asked to do. If they don't do it to the best of their ability, probably what will happen, they wouldn't last very long. They will get sacked, or if they won't get sacked, they will get reprimanded. And if they do it and they keep constantly doing it on a regular basis, there is a possibility they will get sacked. Now, here's the thing. They do have a contract in place. They do have a contract of employment, just like football. And they do have an obligation to do whatever they can do within that contract. If they don't do it, then the employer, Arsenal Football Club, have the ability to get rid of them. Now, football don't work like this, because in normal life, in corporate life, you don't normally have an agent. You don't normally go, you have a CV, you have an interview, someone likes you, someone don't, you get the job, you know what you've got to do. But football is a really unique world. Lots of money handed around. Players possibly not even knowing what they're doing and when they're doing it, being shuffled around like pawns for big money, manipulated by people. So just imagine, I have a 17-year-old, 18-year-old son. I do have a 17 or 18-year-old son, and he has a normal wage like a normal person. He works in Tesco's. Now, just think one of those boys, Saka or Willock, and think of the obscene amounts of money that they are on for that age group. They're not mature yet. They don't really know how things are, but they're being given shitloads of money. Now, on top of that, obviously goes with the pressures of a Premiership footballer. And that immense pressure, just imagine what happens if you don't turn up. So you've got all this money, all this money at a very young age, which is an obscene and unusual situation because life doesn't work like that. And then you don't turn up. Now, what are the consequences? There is no consequences. The consequences are you will possibly be in the team the next time. You will possibly be in the football club. That's a very big possibility. You will not be reprimanded at all. You might be told off a little bit or discussed by the manager. But worst case scenario, like Ozil, you will be reprimanded and put to one side. But here's the thing, just unlike outside world, you will still pick up a wage. You will still pick up a wage, even for doing fuck all. That's not bad, is it, for an 18, 19-year-old? So you can go on holiday, you can still train, but you really don't have to put too much in or a shift for your money. Now, you know that that's wrong. You know that something's wrong. And football's been like this for a very, very long time. So why are we performing like we're performing? Yeah, some people can say tactics. Some people can say it's the manager. Some people can say all sorts of things, as they have done over the last couple of days. But at the end of the day, money, situation, and human beings can create any situation they want to do. The other thing you need to know as well is that in corporate life or in the real world, the people, the employers, the people that actually do the job are not in control. It's most of the time, 90% of the time, the employer that is in control, and they can sack you or they can do whatever. If you're not doing the job, if you are not doing the job and cutting the mustard, you will be terminated and you will be gone. That does not apply to football. Let's just think, right, whether you think it's a right decision to play Ozil, whether you think it's the wrong decision, or whether you think he should go or stay or whatever it is, you have to appreciate that that man, leading up to Christmas, is going home. And whatever he does in his job, whether he's shit, whether he doesn't play, whether he does play, whether he's good, whether he's bad, whether he turns up, whether he doesn't turn up, whether he makes people happy or doesn't, he's still getting 350k a week to do fuck all. Oh, sorry, he has to just turn up for training ever so often. That's not bad. Give me that gig, because I tell you what, that's pretty awesome for any account. Why do you think he's doing all these gifts? We had that Gunnosaurus thing recently where he offered to pay his wages. I've been told, or I've read, that he's very charitable. Of course he's charitable. I would be charitable if I had 350,000 a week. Who wouldn't be? But the point is, the player is in control, not the club, not the manager, not the establishment. Now, we do have a serious problem there, don't we? Because in normal life, he would have been gone ages ago. Now, we talk of the psychological side. We don't know. We have no idea what goes on there, because at the end of the day, football clubs will only release what they want you to know and what they want released. The rest of the stuff gets swept under the carpet. So how many are Ozil's buddies, Ozil's friends, socialise with Ozil, take his side? They must talk, they must drink. Do they talk on the training ground? They must do. How many are towards him? How many back in his cause? Does that affect their performance? Does that affect their attitude, their ability? Well, we don't know. Let's say it does. Is that a factor? The thing I'm struggling with, the really thing I'm struggling with, when you want to attack the manager and you want to focus all your anger and everything on him, is what I watched yesterday was, within a few players, the same team that turned up against Man United this year put in a stunning performance and beat them 1-0. Now, if it's manager's fault or tactics, the same tactics applied to the Man United game, because it's the same manager. So he's going to, all right, he might have changed something. He might have, I don't know, put 4 at the back, 5 at the back. Whatever he did, the philosophy of the manager, the training would have been the same. And he's got very similar players to what he had yesterday at Wolves, bar a couple. So if you analyse both of the games, and you take out grit, determination, will to win, fire in your belly, first ball, breaking down, closing down, quicken the speed up, quicken the passes up, making the passes, connecting the passes, crossing of a football, corners, positional play, hunger and desire to win. You can see that they're not things you train or you coach on the pitches. That's the thing. That's the difference. You've got to have them. Now, Man United, they had them. They went out. They displayed a superb performance. It wasn't 100%. There were some flaws in it, but they got the result, and it was a brilliant result. But at the end of the day, bar a couple, they were the same players there yesterday, with none of that. Now, what you also have to appreciate as well, they were talking about the chances that we created. Now, I again disagree with that, because chances are not created if, when you see the stats, there is no attempt on goal. So to create a chance, you have to physically make someone do something. So you have to make the goalkeeper make a save, it hits the bar, it hits the post. There is some form that makes it an attempt on goal. So yes, we had probably 7, 9 chances, but not once was the goalkeeper tested. So in effect, it's pointless. Crosses were not getting to their objects. Just basic stuff like passing. Now, we don't know why all this is happening, but the one factor is, if, like when you're managing something, if you are telling someone on a constant basis, and all you can do is then, after that is happened, to go onto the pitch, and there's nothing else you can do, and you've spent all week at it, and you've spent all week doing the same thing, there is nothing a manager can do bar watch this disaster unfold in front of him. Now, I've noticed over the last couple of games, the Villa game, the Leicester game, the Leeds game, and Wolves yesterday, have you not noticed how Arteta is not so animated anymore? Now, when I first saw him first couple of games, he was animated, so much so you could possibly hear his voice over everybody else. He was involved, he was animated, not aggressive, but he was there. It doesn't seem to be the case. He looks like a man. Now you can work it two ways. First of all, you can work it that he looks like a broken man, which I don't think he is, because he's too strong a character. Or you can look at it like he's a man that is extremely frustrated that the players that he's got are not putting in the shift and not doing exactly what he has asked them to do. Because we know what happens when they do what he's asked them. We know, we've seen it, right? You didn't pick up, right, the Charity Shield. You didn't pick up, right, the FA Cup. You didn't beat Liverpool at home. You didn't beat Man City. You didn't beat Chelsea. Yeah? You didn't beat these teams with a different coach and not two similar players. The only difference being, I think, Partey. Now, he wasn't playing, right, yesterday. You might know that. But he also wasn't playing against Chelsea in the FA Cup, and in the Community Shield, he wasn't playing against Liverpool. Now, that's still the same manager, Arteta, that guided our team to both of those trophies. Now, on that day, the players wanted it. Now, so, to conclude, the only conclusion that I can come up with, if we think it's the manager, there is a possibility, because player power is a big thing nowadays, and don't think it is, because it is a big thing, is that the player power is slowly but surely, they could be in sympathy with Ozil, could be their buddy, They could be slowly but surely losing the desire, like to play for Arteta. We don't know that. It could be. We should also understand that they might not feel that what Arteta is saying is not the right way forward all of a sudden. I don't know. Isn't it interesting that Aubameyang, since he signed his contract, looks completely lost in the headlights? He doesn't look like he wants to be there or anything. Very interesting. All that pressure building up, and then he gets the contract, he signs the contract, and he's meant to be the captain. He's meant to be your shining light. He's meant to be the ones that rally the troops. Doesn't look like that to me. Now you could say that he's not getting the supply. He's not getting the balls that run in and everything. But when something's not going for you, when it's not going your way, you are the captain, right? You can shout, you can scream, you can go and get the ball, you can make things happen, right? These are not trainable things, right? These are not things that you do on the training ground. These are up to the human beings and the individuals. If you feel something's not going right, change it. Go and get the ball, make things happen, right? Change the path of the game. No, I don't see that. So not really unbelievable captain material. When your team's down, you need someone to rally the troops. So no passion. The only person I see with a little bit of passion, right, is Kieran Tierney. And I like him. Yeah, we got that the other day. You know, there's a little bit of altercation as they were going off the field. But, you know, he didn't throw any punches. He didn't do anything, but he was aggressive. He was passionate. That's what we need. We need more of those. So, concluding, I don't know why we lost at Wolves yesterday. Could be loads of factors, but at the end of the day, similar players to when we went out to play Man United. No one could be targeted. I don't think anybody had a brilliant game, so we could include all of them as a group. Arteta, is he to blame? Is it his fault? Some will blame him, some will don't blame him. But until the system stays as it is, and you don't believe in the system, no, they could not believe in the system, you know, I don't know. You've got a money factor, you've got young kids on big wages, you've got the ability to turn up at a football game, play absolutely shite, and still next week pick up your wage. And you continuously keep doing that and still pick up your wages, and no one is going to do anything about it. The worst that will happen is you might get dropped. So you can see that football is a unique sport as regards to money, because anywhere else you would have been gone. You'd have been out the door, you'd have been finished. Contracts don't work like that. That's why Ozil's still there. So we've got to have that man, whether you like him or you don't, until next summer when his contract is out. Now, that's not right, is it? It doesn't seem right to me. So don't be so keen to have a go at the manager, right? If you have 11 players that want to turn up for odd games and do it and then don't do it, and do it then don't do it, the manager doesn't have the authority to kick them all out. Probably wants to, but to kick them all out. So he has to suck the bullet, and he's got to do the best with what he's got, and he must go home sometimes and get extremely frustrated. And that's why it's such a callous and cold sport now, because managers have to hit the ground running. The success rate of football, the demand is massive, bigger than it's ever been. Supporters, we pay good money. We pay extremely good money, all right? And we demand. And if we demand, we want it done on a regular basis. I would hazard a guess here that if we upped all the things that are not trainable things that he works with on all on the training grounds, all the movement and the ball parrying, all that, if we just upped all the things that were not applicable to them, like grit, determination, will to win, leadership, winning first balls, I think people would accept that. Now, obviously, people need to win, and I do understand that. You do need to win. But if we could show a little bit of those contributions, I think people might see a different thing. If we'd have shown some of that yesterday, you know, if we'd have had, I don't know, like 10, 20 shots on target, and every time the goalkeeper saved it, I think we might have come out of the game differently and think, well, look, yeah, we got beat by Wolves, but look at the goalkeeper, who was on fire today. Had an absolutely stunning game. He just wasn't going to be beat. You do get games like that. It doesn't make any difference towards the loss, but you can sort of somehow, you've got something to speak about, something to say to people that, look, yeah, we lost because there was no loss because yesterday. We lost because we were shite. And if you're shite, there is no crap teams in the Premiership now. You know, don't look at your Wolves, your Sheffield Uniteds, your Leicester even. Look at Leicester. Southampton have been up there. Don't look at these teams now and think, oh, we can go there and get 3 points. They're all decent average teams. And they've all raised their bar. And so you can't go away and say, oh, we've got guaranteed 3 points this week. You just don't know. You really don't know. Now, I'll leave you with a comforting thought. Arsenal Football Club are the sort of team that can go, well, Rapid Vienna on Thursday, I would assume, because their form in the Champions League, the Europa League has been totally different. So I would expect them to win on Thursday. But when we play the Yids next weekend, I wouldn't be too surprised, right, through all this doom and gloom, that Arsenal do turn up and they actually beat the Yids. And that's the sort of thing that they do. Now and again, they put in a stunning performance. I've always said that if you do catch Arsenal on the right day, and this applies to every team, they have the ability to destroy anybody. If one, they turn up, and two, they're all up for it. And that well could be next weekend. So that's a comforting thing. But we'll see. Anyway, nice to talk. Let's hope we get some wins. Let's hope we start picking up and shooting up the table. I don't think it's all doom and gloom. I think it's a process, but it still hurts. Anyway, signing off. See you, goons. Take care.